Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. This is Tucker, also known as Hagrid, back for another episode of Tucked In here with BB. Today, we're going to be looking at Pepe and, of course, speculating on where we think it can go in the short, mid, and long term. Before we dive in, please hit the like and subscribe. That always helps us out. And let's dive right into the video, guys. Pepe, we're going to start blank chart weekly. Just going to mark out some levels. Just going to mark out some pretty basic levels. Obviously, this is a good level. I like this weekly close as well. I'm just going to put a red box. Actually, I'm going to leave the magnet on. I'm going to put a red box on this level. Change this. Okay. Let's see. I might need to drop down to the daily for this. We will see. We will see, guys. But yeah, that's a pretty decent level as well. Let me make it a little more accurate. There we go. Okay. All right. That's really, as far as the weekly, that's really all I wanted to map out. Like I said, we're going to go down to the daily and look a little bit deeper into this, but to give some context, we do have rate cuts coming up in a couple weeks. ETH is sitting at about 4,300 at the time of this video. So, yeah, I think there's some pretty interesting things lining up for Pepe here. But let's get into it a little bit. Okay, looking at this. For me, obviously, this red box, these two lines, we have rejected multiple times. 1, 2, 3, call it 4 times maybe. Depends on how you want to look at it. But if I zoom out a little bit and consider the ETH chart as well, right? If I consider the ETH chart, this level is 4K, in my opinion, right? This is the 4K ETH right here. Okay. That's going to get cracked, in my opinion. That's going to get cracked in a big way. Obviously, like I said, ETH is trading at 4,300. There is a catch-up trade to be made here, right? And if you just look at, like here, I'm just gonna pull up the ETH chart next to this. It'll be much. Actually, there it is. Okay, that was not planned. Let me go weekly. To me, this feels pretty similar. Okay, just this level, right? This to me feels like 4K ETH, right? Rejected, here, big move down. These two, big move down. One last try at this level, huge move down, right? We actually didn't lose the low, which is interesting, but I think we are set for this recovery here pretty soon, right? And this would have been that level. This, in my opinion, is probably that level. So for me, Pepe is trading about 2,500 ETH right now, right? I would consider Pepe to be the same level as ETH at 2,500, right? It hung out there for a while, right? Like this is the weekly chart. It hung out here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was like 2 months, 2.5 months right here, right? This was from beginning of May until beginning of July. So essentially 2 months in this range. Obviously, Pepe's been in this range for a while, but to me, given the macro context, given what ETH has done recently, given what Bitcoin looks like, given what Sol looks, everything we talked about last week, this leg, I believe, is loading for Pepe at least above 4K. Well, whatever that would be, 0.00016 to be specific. But yeah, I think we're gonna see that within a month. And I love this too for ETH, right? I love that we actually got above and are coming back for our retest now, so we can do this, right? And you could even ETH, you could even go as low as 4,100, right? You could go retest this wick again if you actually have to, but and still look completely fine on a weekly chart. But yeah, for me, Pepe is sitting at 2,500 ETH, and there's a huge catch-up trade staring us in the face, in my opinion. So wanted to point that out, obviously. Now, there are a few other factors to consider, of course, as there always are. I don't love this, and that's this line drawn down here. I do not love this. So 1, 2, 3, 4 broke down through the line, consolidated under. We're now retesting it. We need to get above this line. We need to get above it bad. And that level is really 1-1. Call it 0.00011. This high would be great, right? 1-2 would be great, but I'll take 1-1 at this point, right? Like I think a reclaim right here. That's the wrong tool. Hang on. I think a reclaim right here would do wonders, right? Because then you can obviously draw this little trend line. We can actually draw the trend line. There we go. But yeah, I think movement up in here would give a lot more credence to the speculation that we're going to have this leg. Because of course the Pepe and ETH chart, they're not going to look exactly the same, but I think we can map out at least similar movements, right? So for me, get above 1-1. This ETH leg above 4K is definitely in play within 4 to 5 weeks, in my opinion. Let's put on some other stuff. We'll put on, yeah, that is basically that level right at 1-1, right? Bull market support band. Definitely important. Let's look at the MA ribbon. Don't hate it. Curling up, back green. We're trying. Pepe is definitely at a big level as I speak. Like this is definitely this 0.1 to 1-1 level is big. Let's pull up some oscillators as well. Let's just do this. Let's do MACD. We're going to go out to the weekly real quick. RSI looks fine. Nothing of note quite yet. I mean, I like this consolidation. It hasn't really fallen. You know, it's definitely below the 50, obviously, but it's making an attempt, right? We're at 48.9 right now. Actually, what are we at? 48.46. But just consolidating in the middle here, right? Like, I do not want to see this slip back below these lows. Like this would be a, you know, if you're leveraged, this would be a cut it scenario for me. So yeah, that's kind of my high time frame RSI thoughts, but 2 week looks fine. Yeah, all these look fine. All right, looking at MACD. Waning bearish momentum. We did have a bear cross right here. It's obviously MACD is a little bit of a lagging indicator, but I think it's doing something similar to RSI, right? Like we're just having this consolidation here. Doesn't really know which way it wants to go. Seems pretty floored out, in my opinion. Seems pretty floored. Bitcoin made its move. ETH made its move. Solana is kind of pending a move right now. We're sitting at 219, which is a level we've been looking to break for a while. Looks like we're going to get a Doge ETF soon. The trickle-down effect should be real. And we're getting rate cuts in 10 days, less than 10 days. So I think things are set up for Pepe to have a big 6 to 8 weeks, right? Starting soon, right? Starting between now and the next 10 days, because obviously rate cuts are going to get front run a little bit. But yeah, I think everything kind of just hanging out here is good, right? I like where the RSI is at. I like where the MACD is at. Let me pull up the stochastic real quick, and then we'll put some volume on real quick. But Let me do stock. Little stock RSI, see what's going on. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this stock RSI. Big move up after this. Big move up after that. If we can, here's my thinking on stock RSI. If we can hold this above 18, 19, 20 and not have to fall down into this lower bound, like, yeah, that got all the way down to 1. I did not know that. But if we can just hang out up here and not have to fall all the way down to like, 1 through 5 levels, that would, I think, set up an even bigger move. But I do like where it's at in confluence with the other oscillators, right? I do like that it's trying to floor out here. For me, it does. I mean, you're probably going to get a cross here soon, right? A bullish cross, but it looks, I mean, it might take a little bit of, you might not get the start of this giant move up till the end of the month. So kind of what I've been harping on is we're going to have some downside in the beginning of September, which we've seen. And then I think we're going to have a big second half of the month. And by big, I think that can partially include consolidation to begin upside, kind of catalyzed by rate cuts. So just wanted to point that out on the frog. But let's put some volume on here real quick and see what's going on. I think, yeah, this is the Binance chart. Should be fine. Should be fine. There's one. Where's another good spike? That's probably all we need. All right, let's go to the daily. Get rid of all these lines. Yeah. All right. So point of control on both volume profiles is all the way down here. Thankfully, we haven't had to test that yet. That's nice. I don't think we're going to have to at this point. Not that I think we're going to start this rally and just break, 1.6 with haste or anything like this week. I don't think we're going to necessarily do that. But if I take away the lines I drew before, this is what it looks like. Again, that's our 4K ETH level. I mean, it's kind of the same box, right? Like this, it's a bit of a wider box, but these two value area highs are going to keep us tamped down for a little bit, probably, at least on our first attempt at breaking them, in my opinion. These levels, obviously, rock solid support for Pepe. I don't think we need to go test them at this point, but yeah, this is kind of, I guess I'll just kind of draw it out, how I think the rest of the month should go. All right, I'm going to mark out the end of September. Okay. I think we're going to kind of do this and start this climb towards the end of the month, right? I think we're going to have some chop in the meantime. We are going to have our rate cut right there, right about this. I think it's the 17th of the month, but yeah, that's kind of my prospect for Pepe for the next 2 weeks. Going into Q4, I think we're going to smash this level. I do. I think you're going to see ETH. I think ETH and price discovery in general is a huge thing for the entire altcoin market, but Pepe specifically for sure. So want to see a 5 handle on ETH and Pepe already above here, right? Like, give me this, and then ETH crosses 5K. That's when you're getting, in my opinion, that's when you're getting 1618 hit in Q4. So that would be, I mean, from here, that's a 4x from here. Pepe is sitting at 4.3 billion. That would be a $16 billion Pepe. So that would be nice. That would definitely be nice. But yeah, I think Q4 is when that 1618 comes into play. And it's probably not for fading. It's probably not for fading. Let me put this in log just to see what that would actually be. Oh man, that's a lot higher. Let's see. That would be from here a 7.5x, 7.5. That would be quite a high valued Pepe if you can do some math. You know, that would be a $30 billion Pepe. So that would be quite something. But I think those are in play. Both those numbers, honestly, 16 and 30, I think are both in play for Q4. But in the shorter term, I think we're going to begin that push towards this 4K ETH level, right? In quotes, this 4K ETH level at 0016 towards the end of the month, with some chop in between. But yeah, I mean, that's a quick Pepe update. That's the quick Pepe update. I don't see a ton more. I mean, you could drop down to the 4 hour and throw on some ICT stuff and really get in the nitty gritty of it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm still kind of getting rejected there. Again, you can draw this line however you want, but I also don't love this line like I talked about. So, like I said, big spot for Pepe. Not necessarily based on volume, but just in terms of what the high time frame oscillators are doing in conjunction with these two trend lines. I would like to see this at least get above 011 here soon. So, yeah, that's the quick Pepe update, guys. Just wanted to hop on and let you guys know what I was thinking. So, anyways, that is it for the video. That is it for Tucked In this week, and we'll be back next week with another episode. So again, like and subscribe. That always helps us out, and I'll see you next week.